Okay, imagine this scenario. A child may be struggling a bit in school. They seem bright, they've got potential, but maybe they get labeled stubborn or distracted.
Yeah.
And the parents are just, well, they're desperate, asking everyone, what's going on here? What's wrong with my child? It's a tough situation, happens all the time, really, and often it points to something kind of hidden. So today, in this deep dive, we're going to shine a light on one of those challenges, Fetal Alcohol Spectrum Disorder, FASD. For a lot of people, it's still, a bit of a mystery, misunderstood, hidden away. We're drawing our insights from this really powerful account called No One Saw It Until It Was Too Late. And it really gets personal, shows you the impact. So our goal here is to kind of cut through the confusion and give you the crucial stuff about FASD. We'll talk about why it's often invisible, what happens when diagnosis is late, and why awareness is just so, so important. Think of this deep dive as like a shortcut to getting really informed on something that affects a lot of people, often silently. And the best way to understand the impact, I think, is through stories. Like, the account introduces us to Maya. Right, so when she was 7, her teachers kept saying she was stubborn.
Yeah.
Couldn't focus, apparently. Had big meltdowns if routines changed. Kept forgetting things. And her poor mother, just worn out, kept asking that same question, what is wrong with my child?
And that's the thing. Maya's experience is incredibly common. That story really drives it home. The piece highlights this critical 2-year gap. Just misunderstanding, struggle for her and her family.
2 years? Wow.
Yeah. She wasn't diagnosed with FASD until she was 9. Mm-hmm. And this delay, that's what makes her story so, so typical, sadly. Mm-hmm. Because nobody asked the right questions. Nobody asked about prenatal alcohol exposure. And there was just this lack of understanding that, even just one glass during pregnancy, it can cause lifelong issues, neurodevelopmental disorders.
Right. And that phrase invisible disability, it just lands so heavily there, doesn't it? The source uses that exact term, an invisible disability. Mm-hmm. Can't see it on the outside. But the effects on the brain, profound. So if it is invisible, what are the biggest hurdles, you think? Getting people to recognize it, support it, not just for one person, but like society-wide.
That's a huge question. The brain damage isn't visible, like you said, but it hits areas like executive function really hard.
Okay, what does that cover exactly?
Things like planning, controlling impulses, managing emotions, memory.
Okay. That explains Maya's issues with routine changes and forgetting things.
Exactly. It's not her choosing to be difficult. It's how her brain processes information, neurologically different.
Yeah.
And we have to remember it's a spectrum disorder, FASD.
Right. Spectrum, meaning
the impact varies massively.
Yeah.
Person to person. It could be subtle learning difficulties, maybe only really obvious at school, or it could be much bigger challenges in just, daily living.
Yeah.
So diagnosis, support, it has to be tailored, really individualized. But without that broad awareness, these struggles, they get mislabeled, defiance, laziness, whatever. And that stops kids getting the help they need early on.
Yeah, Maya's story just lays it bare, how the lack of awareness from teachers, even doctors, just kept the struggle going for years. It makes you think, doesn't it? It's not just about the parents knowing.
No, it's systemic.
Reading her story, I kept thinking, how many other kids are out there right now struggling just because we as a society aren't asking the right questions yet? Yeah, it's sobering.
It really is. And the source makes this point so clearly. Early diagnosis could have saved Maya years of trauma, school failure, shame.
Oh, God, imagine that, thinking you're just stubborn or bad.
For years, when actually your brain just works differently because of something that happened before you were even born, and nobody told you. It just highlights how badly we need timely intervention, proper understanding from everyone, educators, doctors, the whole community.
And speaking of understanding, there's that one piece of info about alcohol during pregnancy. It still seems to surprise people, but it's absolutely key for prevention. The account we're looking at puts it bluntly. Even just one glass during pregnancy could lead to lifelong neurodevelopmental disorders. That's a really strong statement. Catches you off guard, maybe?
It does catch people off guard, yeah. But the science is solid. Even a small amount at the wrong time in development, it can disrupt how the fetal brain is forming, leading to these lifelong challenges that often get missed.
So it's not about, how much someone drinks necessarily.
It's not just about quantity. It's about the timing, the vulnerability of the brain at specific developmental points, which is why the message has to be no alcohol in pregnancy, ever.
Right.
It's not just a suggestion, It's vital, non-negotiable, because we genuinely don't know any safe amount or any safe time. And look, this isn't about blaming or judging anyone.
Absolutely.
It's purely about prevention. understanding the potential impact. What do you think the biggest misconception is around that when people hear no alcohol ever?
It's a good question. I think. I think maybe people still think, oh, just a tiny bit, an occasional drink, surely that's okay. Maybe they mix it up with like general health advice for adults, not realizing the specific risks to a developing fetus.
Yeah, that makes sense.
They don't quite grasp how uniquely vulnerable that developing brain is. And that leads us right back to what this deep dive, Maya's story, the facts, what it all points towards, a really clear call to action. The source itself sums it up. Right? We need more awareness, better screening, and no alcohol in pregnancy, ever.
Pretty direct.
Urgent.
Totally. And Maya's journey just hammers home that this call for awareness, for screening, it's not just, a nice idea. It's essential. It's fundamental if we want to stop years of needless suffering and make sure every child actually gets the support they need and deserve. Having this knowledge, it equips us, doesn't it? Not just to understand, but to actually build empathy, build support for people living with FASD.
So wrapping up this deep dive, we've really seen the hidden struggles of FASD. We've seen through Maya's story just how devastating delayed diagnosis can be. And we've hit that critical point. There is no safe amount of alcohol during pregnancy. Zero. Hopefully this knowledge helps you, helps all of us understand those struggles better, maybe see past the labels, foster more empathy, bring a more informed view to the world. And it leaves me with this thought. Given how invisible FASD often is, and how much pain could be avoided just by asking the right questions, by being aware, what other unseen challenges might be right there in front of us, just waiting for us to ask, waiting for us to see.